peux pas ouvrir le Google Doc en fait.
C'est dans... Je peux envoyer
Attends,
le
non,
lien dans le
il faut
chat.
absolument. Non, j'ai pas la vidéo. Je n'ai pas la vidéo. Si je n'ai pas la vidéo, ça ne va pas. So we're just waiting for our friends from the University of Pompeu Fabra to launch the meeting.
Information, Culture and Communication here in Barcelona at the Pompeu Fabra University. And I'm going to be with you all along of this conference, introducing the different people participating in the conference. For those who don't know very much what is EUTOPIA and what is exactly the Knowledge Bazaar, I'm going to do a brief introduction about that. The Knowledge Bazaar is an initiative of EUTOPIA, and EUTOPIA is this alliance between universities, initially 6 universities in Europe, then 10 universities working together in different fields, especially education, research, transference, but other many fields you can imagine, like civic engagement or finding solutions for the labor market. So with these 6 universities, we decided to create a joint venture to promote the dialogue, the intersection between arts and science. And we created this bazaar, this knowledge bazaar, this kind of market of wisdom, this center of ideas and creations, where different scientific researchers found some creative solutions to be translated and to be expressed in the general society. The aim was having an impact to the society. So what was the idea? The idea was picking some researchers of high impact in universities and obviously in other fields, and from these researchers creating different pieces, different artistic pieces made by students. So this is a connection between researchers and students, and obviously this is a connection as well with other centers in every single city of EUTOPIA. So for example, in our case, as I introduced before, we chose the ideal center of arts, Ideal, but in other cities in Europe, they are right now connected, you are right now connected with us from this kind of artistic centers, or in your own universities, you have your own artistic centers from which you are connected. The universities that participate here are, as I said before, the 6 regional universities that founded EUTOPIA. So I don't want to forget anyone. I'm going to read them just in case. I know them by heart, but sometimes it's difficult when you have to say a long list. So it's easy to forget some of them. So the universities that are contributing to this knowledge bazaar are the Vrije Universiteit in Brussels, Cergy Paris Université in Paris, the University of Gothenburg, the University of Ljubljana, the University Pompeu Fabra here in Barcelona, and the University of Warwick. I'm reading this list in the same order that we are going to show these different pieces that the students made to explain, to transfer the research in a more creative way to the society. I would like to thank you, all the people who have collaborated in this experience. The list again is super long, so I'm not going to read all the names. We knew this was a very, very difficult, a very complex project, especially because it's this kind of special projects that doesn't follow the traditional paths. So we all did a big effort to be here right now with you presenting this work. So I would like to thank you, all the people who decided to follow the non-regular, the non-traditional paths, the people who believed in this crazy idea to make it possible, and the people who had the vision at the very beginning of suggesting a different way to explain science through the arts. I don't want to be long with that. I'll be with you introducing the different teams that provide some pieces to this knowledge bazaar. But at the same time, I have another function. It is the function of introducing the people who is opening this ceremony and the people who are closing the ceremony. And we have to open a person who is well, the perfect person to do that. Someone who is an expert in this dialogue between art and science. And she is Monica Bello. You have seen her in the program. She's the director of the program Arts at CERN, the European Organization for Nuclear Research. She has a very, well, she and the full organization, of course, have a very rich program devoted to this kind of dialogue. And she's going to give a first speech to introduce the Knowledge Bazaar and to give a sort of a framework to our initiative. I'm very proud to have Monica here. Thank you very much. It's a real pleasure for all of us having you. And the floor is yours now.
Thank you, Manel, and thank you, everyone, all of you, for inviting me and for spending a few minutes with me. So in my very brief introduction, I'd like to maybe provoke some ideas around the art and science context that we are living a bit as a hype, but also as an opportunity to bring communities together and to realizing that we have a great responsibility when we bring these visuals, these tangible experiences to and to bring communities and groups of curious people together in research of what our planet, our life, our contemporary context is today. So I'm going to start by provoking a question. How can we describe art today without taking into account the scientific and technological complexity that we are living in? This question seems banal if we think of the last century of massive and accelerated developments in science, especially in fundamental science that later talks to us through applications that are affecting the way we interact with each other, we talk to each other, we communicate, or we sense our surroundings. But this is definitely a reality that we are living and we must describe with the means and methodologies. And I'm happy to be here in a place where these methodologies are being challenged and innovations are being imagined. I'd like to quote always Peter Gallison, a professor of Harvard University, when he says that we need to think about trading zones where subcultures, scientific subcultures, can be helping each other to establish these trading zones where ideas, perceptions, tools, and methodologies could come together, especially through the cross-disciplinary collaborations. Peter Gallison talks in his extended career about the experiments and logic and image. And I always think that artists and designers and creators and all of you in this room are experimenters. We are looking for this way of experiencing, but also experiment with the material culture of today. And I think this is a good way to summarize. When you invite me, Manel, to be part of or to introduce this panel, I thought we are talking about creating an experiment in which every one of us can be part of. By creating this tangible and vivid experience through the technologies that are given to us today, thanks to fundamental and basic research that happens often in the labs during decades, which we don't see. And then one day they come to us and we can change the way we live our surroundings. And perhaps behind these Googles that we are seeing on the chairs, we have this instant in which this massive complexity of collaboration happens between art and science and creativity and science. So I'm going to leave it this way. And well, congratulations to all of you. The Knowledge Bazaar is a great idea because it's a departure point for us to start to do things. And especially in a very challenging time when people need to be connected as a network through virtual modes, but why not? Let's set up a new format as you are doing today. So congratulations to all of you, and bon courage. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Monica. How are you doing here, by the way, in the room? Because we have well, this double sound. Is it okay? Are you perfectly with some difficulties? Okay, we're going to try to solve it right now. But now it's time to continue with the presentation. We have, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, perfectly. We have all the connection of the rest of the universities. I mentioned the 6 founders of EUTOPIA, but we have other people invited from other European Europes, especially the other 4 that incorporated to EUTOPIA, which are Dresden Universität in Germany, Babeș Bolyai in Romania, Nova in Lisbon, and Ca' Foscari in Italy. So we also welcome these 4 other universities who are following the event of this afternoon. I'm going to start by giving the floor to the first university who is presenting the Knowledge Bazaar they've worked in. It is the Free University of Brussels, the Vrije Universiteit. They have something prepared for next week. We have the EUTOPIA week next week in Brussels, and then they have something special in the Royal Flemish Theatre. But now we have Ian Comic. Ian, I'm seeing you there. Hello, how are you? He's going to present the project, and the title of this project is Mind Blowers. Ian, are you ready? Yeah. So the floor is yours. Thank you very much for being here.
Welcome to Brussels, the home of the Vrije Universiteit Brussel and a host of cultural and artistic organizations and initiatives. Today, the Vrije Universiteit Brussel and the Royal Flemish Theatre are delighted to welcome you into the EUTOPIA Knowledge Bazaar exhibition called Mind Blowers. The separation of art and science is an important feature of modern life, but it also constitutes a critical loss. With Mind Blowers, we aim to reconnect different disciplines, bridging sometimes disparate elements and bringing them back into proximity. The different artists and scientists of the exhibition depart from a place of courage, passion, expertise, amor mundi, and curiosity, and aim at better understanding the complexity and beauty of our world, while also cherishing its mysteries. First, we dive into the work of Irene Gutierrez. Irene Gutierrez is a researcher at the Vrije Universiteit Brussel and an award-winning documentary filmmaker from Ceuta. Her work explores the themes of vernacular cinema and migrant self-representation through participatory video workshops. She is currently working on Real Borders, a research project focusing on the relationship between film and borders. In Borderscape, she explores the impact of borders, how they take shape, and how the people around them interact with them.
Ouais, ça c'est la grande famille du désert. C'est dormi les gars. C'est confiant.
Following is the work of Niels de Winter. Niels de Winter is a Dutch paleoclimatologist jointly affiliated with Universiteit Utrecht and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel. In his research, he uses the chemical composition of fossils to reconstruct Earth's biodiversity and climate during the past warm periods to improve models for future climate and environmental change. Through his research, Niels makes it possible to reconstruct climate and weather events from the past millennia to a year or even daily accuracy. On display at the exhibition is the fossil shell of an oyster that lived in current-day Argentina about 66 million years ago. It was polished to reveal growth layers. Similar to a tree, each layer represents 1 year of growth. The fossil is combined with an X-ray analysis of the fossil, which displays an intricate pattern used for analysis. The next artist invited for the exhibition is Fien Leijzen. Fien Leijzen is a theater maker, always on the lookout for the most suitable way to tell her story, regardless of medium, often ending up with a combination of different narrative forms: writing, performance, video, audio. Her texts balance the personal and poetic, and always attempt to touch on a universal topic. For mindblowers, Fien's search into the meaning of time brings her to a clockmaker who shrugs his shoulder and confesses he always arrives too late.
Het is al een seconde fout, van in het begin al. Vroeger had ik de drang, om als ik ergens kwam, bij mensen, al was het voor de eerste keer, en daar hing een klok aan de muur die dat stil stond, de neiging om die in gang te zetten. Kunt u je voorstellen, de Sint-Rombout storen uw wekkerradio. GSM ligt op het nachtkastje zoals gewoonlijk. En 's morgens om 8 uur word ik gebeld. En ik hoor het uurwerk slaan. Ja, wie heeft dat nog? Ik kom altijd te laat. Terwijl ik veel eisend ben van een klok, die moet juist staan. Zeker een openbaar uurwerk.
The following two artists were invited by evolutionary biologist Karine van Donink of Université de Namur and Université Libre de Bruxelles to share their work for this exhibition. Karine's work focuses on rotifers. These incredibly interesting creatures have fascinating aspects. They can dry up completely and rehydrate without skipping a beat. Their DNA can recover from being frozen for decades, and most scandalous, they're all females. Karine invited a series of artists into her lab to explore, capture, and reflect on her work through their lens. Caroline Vainqueur is a visual arts and photography professional. In her work, she explores the boundaries between the abstract and the anecdotal, between the intimate and distant. Vainqueur plays with the material elements of her medium. For this series, she dove into the lab of Karine van Donink and managed to capture the inner workings of a lab through a series of videos and photographs. The final artist in our exhibition is David Bade. David Bade is a Dutch sculptor, installation artist, painter, and drawer. For the realization of his sculptures and actions, he often chooses a participative approach and involves various groups and bystanders in the creation process. These sculptures are part of a bigger installation, rotifers jumping into the breach. Rotifers and scientists working on them are jumping into the unknown, trailblazing. Sometimes it also fails. Things explode or boil over. With this exhibition, we also look back on the past 5 years of the Mindblowers collaboration between the Royal Flemish Theatre and the Vrije Universiteit Brussel. Our shared passion for connecting art and science has resulted in 5 stage events, a book publication, and the current exhibition. Thanks to all the artists and scientists who've made this exhibition possible, and to the EUTOPIA European University Network for this inspiring community. We look forward to welcoming all of you at the Finissage in the Brussels Utopia Week on Monday, the 27th of June. Make sure to register on the VUB registration platform. This exhibition is compiled by Lynn Tietjat, Michael de Kok, Catherine Vervaeke, and Ian Comac.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Ian. I would like to have this session a bit interactive. So if you have any question from here, from the face-to-face rooms or online, please address us this question. Ian, thank you very much. I don't know if you want to complement your presentation with some words for us.
Yes, sure. I hope you enjoyed this little sneak peek into the exhibition that we have going on currently at KVS. The KVS has been an incredible partner over the past 5 years for the Vrije Universiteit Brussel. We've been working with the KVS on the Mindblowers project which includes 5 life stage events and the book publication, as you saw. They have been invaluable, and it's part of our goal to collaborate with more cultural institutions and really evaluate how we do scientific research and how we interact with artistic interventions. And I think the Knowledge Bazaar within EUTOPIA was a great way of showcasing this and re-establishing this connection and sharing it with all of you. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope a lot of you can make it out to Brussels next week, and we are looking forward to welcoming all of you. And if you have any further questions, feel free.
We enjoyed traveling to Brussels to see next week the whole exhibition. You have seen there are several artists, different materials, different disciplines. So it's a very, very multifaceted exhibition that really worth it. So if you have the chance to join us in Brussels, it's going to be really interesting, as you have seen. So we move. If we don't have any question, please don't be shy. If you have questions, please raise your hand here in Barcelona, or raise your hand in your different locations from EUTOPIA, and let's establish this dialogue. But if there's no question about this first project, what we could do would be passing to the next university, which is Cergy Paris. They are in the middle of the Fête de la Musique, if I'm not wrong. So this is a perfect moment to do an event like the event we are celebrating today, in the middle of a cultural day where different artistic manifestations are in the streets. We are presenting from Cergy a project called Proteody. I think I'm right with the pronunciation, but please correct me if I'm wrong. The authors of this piece. We have our team in Cergy in the École Nationale Supérieure d'Art. We can see them. Okay, so hello, how are you? Now it's your turn to explain what Proteody means in this project. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah, so we would just want to present ourselves like real quick, and then explain a little bit our video, and then we can share the video and show it to you all. So we are a group of 3 students, Emma Crémier here, Emma Fleury, who couldn't be here due to COVID, and myself, Joana Peralta, and we collaborated with Olivier Gallet and his team in his lab. They're working on this thing called Proteody, which you will understand what it is in the video, hopefully. And yeah, so we just wanted to say that we were introduced to this project really late in the course of it, and had access to the scientific materials also later than that. And so our video is more of an approach to what we would like to do later. As an art piece, so as the colleagues in Brussels were showing their exhibits and their pieces, that's more or less what we have in mind, but we just couldn't do it right away. And so we imagined this being a thing that will take place in the future, but we still wanted to show you guys what we had in mind, and so we made this fun video to try and explain what Proteody is and what interests us in this research. So yeah, feel free. Oh yeah, so maybe Olivier, want to say something?
So kind of nothing to add, because as you will see in the film, Proteody is a kind of expression of how almost one of the most important parts of the bodies of the living proteins are constituted in. You know that protein is constituted by amino acid, and each amino acid could be closely translated to a music note. And you can see what could be happen if you use these acoustic sequences to transform the life.
Yeah, so we'll show you the video now.
Ouais.
Bienvenue, amis de la protéodie. Aujourd'hui, nous sommes réunis ici pour essayer de dévoiler le secret qui est caché derrière ce nom. On pourrait expliquer ça très simplement en pensant au tournesol. C'est une plante qui suit la lumière du soleil. Elle va tourner et va regarder à chaque fois la source de lumière. Eh bien, la protéodie, c'est pareil, mais avec le son. Les plantes, les végétales, tout ce qui va pousser du sol va prendre une forme et va prendre un parcours en fonction du son qui est projeté sur celle-ci. Bon, vous m'avez compris. Ici, on a un exemple qui a été dévoilé récemment par Anonymous d'un arbre qui en fait a été injecté de cet étrange, on ne sait pas ce que c'est encore, mais extraterrestre, et comme vous voyez a poussé de la pierre, même pas de la terre, il a poussé de la pierre et a fait une excroissance vers la source de son ou de musique. On ne sait pas encore de quoi s'agit-il. On pense que ça pourrait être des ondes musicales imperceptibles à l'oreille humaine, mais qui en fait font que ceux-ci prennent une forme très étrange et très étrangement similaire à des, disons, membres humains. On peut bien voir ici que ça ressemble beaucoup à un coude. Et on part sur l'hypothèse que ces cercles-là seraient leurs appareils auditifs. On a ici un exemple protéodique d'arbre.
Vous êtes vraiment sûr que c'est ça? Parce que je croyais que ça partait un peu dans tous les sens. Est-ce qu'ils ont vraiment des oreilles, les arbres?
Après, c'est quand même un professeur Johanna qui...
C'est vrai, c'est pour ça que je voudrais pas remettre sa parole en cause. Mais
Alors, les travaux qu'on mène avec Solène dans le cadre du programme Génodicyway, qui est un programme de partenariat entre l'entreprise Génodix et nous, et qui est financé par le plan de relance, qui s'appelle France Relance 2030, avec une vision effectivement d'adaptation au changement climatique, et se préparer finalement à mettre en place des stratégies qui vont permettre finalement à l'agriculture, alors nous on a visé l'agriculture pour ce domaine-là, ou à la santé, de pouvoir répondre plus facilement à des problématiques liées aux enjeux climatiques. L'idée, effectivement, c'est de favoriser la résistance des végétaux par rapport à des stress hydriques. Donc, on voit les épisodes criants de soit trop d'eau, soit pas assez d'eau, et donc, finalement, les végétaux s'adaptent. Dans ce cadre de figure, nous, ce qu'on veut savoir, c'est quelles sont les voies d'adaptation des végétaux, et est-ce que, en diffusant des séquences acoustiques un peu spécifiques, qui vont aider le végétal à fabriquer une protéine d'adaptation au stress, qui s'appelle la déhydrine. La déhydrine, qui va se préadapter au stress hydrique. Et avec cette séquence acoustique, on veut surexprimer cette protéine pour rendre le végétal beaucoup plus apte à s'adapter.
So I hope it was a little bit clear what the researchers here are trying to find out. And yeah, we were just very interested about all these matters, and especially what also Olivia told us, that the real acoustic sequence that they were projecting to the vegetables couldn't be heard and couldn't be broadcasted because it wasn't proved what this sequence could do to human cells. And that was like an amazing thing to find out, and we would like also to research, keep our research in this direction, and yeah, hopefully we'll have something to show you guys by the end of the year. And so yeah, thank you so much for listening and hearing us.
It was our pleasure. So thank you very much for this work. I think most of the works we are seeing today are embryonic works. Most of them are still in process. So we're going to see, as you mentioned, some still progresses and improvements to do. But at the same time, I forget to mention that at the beginning, you can consult all the projects in our website. So if you browse in the internet, Knowledge Bazaar, EUTOPIA, you'll find a site with all of them. I really appreciate your work. I really appreciate also your courage to come on, to come across with this idea and to follow your first intuition to put in place with this video. And obviously this exploratory movement that the scientifics do with their own projects, it's also translated in the field of culture, in the field of creation. So I think this is a very good example to see how the creators, the artists, also show their exploration around several subjects. And I really liked this idea of showing the production team, the production crew, filming the spaces, the locations of research, the natural places where research originates, because it's a way also to show this work in progress and this exploratory construction of science and arts at the same time. So from Paris, from the Day of the Music, and we had some resonances here about sound and how the nature could reproduce these sounds. We go straight to the University of Gothenburg. Taria, you were there? I can see you now. How are you, Taria?
I'm fine.
Yes.
I say hello to everybody, and I leave over to doctoral student Camilla Johansson Bäcklund, who will present her doctoral thesis project, which is about materialization of science and visual arts in many ways. It's about visual arts in teacher education. So hello to everybody, and I will leave it over to Camilla. Bye.
Hello, Camilla Johansson Bäcklund here. So as Tarja said, I'm a bit all all in one. I'm an artist and a researcher and a teacher and also a PhD student halfway through my thesis. And I am talking a bit today about my thesis on material spatial processes. I will share my screen here. So, material spatial processes develop our ability to transform and understand complex information. However, studies have shown that such investigations are overlooked by the university world, which more often rewards alphanumeric literacy. My study aims to develop current understanding of what non-human matter and the spatial aspects of moving bodies do as part of processes of knowing, to hopefully intensify the discussion on how higher education is prepared and implemented. My methodology is an entanglement of philosophical, artistic, and scientific approaches. It consists of several mattering practices that runs together and folds in and out of each other, giving rise to diffractive patterns. I will here present a small glimpse of my methodology, the diffractive drawing. I research with Karen Barad's ethico-ontoepistemology and describe this study as post-qualitative. The investigating apparatus and the examined phenomena are, according to Barad's agential realism, entangled and extended through each other. In my PhD project, I am inquiring material discursive aspects of art teacher-students' analog modeling and sketching investigations of theories and ideas that they deal with in their studies. I name these processes as material spatial. Students are invited to attend seminars based on material spatial processes. The seminars are captured on film with the camera attached to the ceiling. My apparatus consists of me, my bodily functions and positions, as well as the extensions of these functions and positions that the camera and the setting of the room constitutes. The main research material is the video recordings from the seminars. As one way of analyzing the material, I iteratively project the seminars on wallpaper and by listening at, follow and draw the material movements and relational processes, the research material and the act of drawing gives opportunity to sharpen my attention and to get to know the event of the seminar more closely. I draw attention. But what parts of these processes are the apparatus and what are the phenomena? And are there actually more data than the filmed material? I will now leave you for a few minutes watching me doing diffractive drawings. Many methods for producing research data are traditionally formulated with an intention to keep the materials clean from other types of information that can affect the possible results. Saint-Pierre describes the problem in such an approach by showing how several other types of data always erupts her research, and that these data did not affect the result negatively, but rather made them deepened. She identifies response data, dream data, emotional data, and sensual data, which she sees can impact to her research. She poses that research always includes much more data than we are aware of. I have, in the same way, been able to identify, for example, memory data, scroll data, and affect data derived from my diffractive analysis. This is something that I also recognize and are familiar with from my artistic performance practice. The drawing of the film seminars evokes reactualized memories, both from the seminars itself, but also from previous readings, relations, and experiences, which are not seen or expressed in the current material, but which receive significance for the understanding of the investigated phenomenon. I develop knowledge with the material develop knowledge with me. I am material, we are one. We are the apparatus and phenomena at once. You could say that the diffractive drawing is a phenomena apparatus formulating a situation that invites other data to show off and articulate itself, rather than trying to clean the material up. So thanks for listening to my presentation.
Thank you very much, Camila. Thank you very much, Tari, as well. I was talking some minutes ago about this dialogue between science and arts, also from the point of view of the exploration. And this is a project that really explores or revolves around the same processes of researching in art. So it's a project that manifests, that shows the artistic side of a research, but this research is talking about arts by itself. We can't see you. You can't see. Sorry, you can't see us. Sorry about this lapsus. We are here in a room with around 40 people, and we were all mesmerized with your presentation. I think it was really, really inspiring. So thank you for that. And I would like to mention as well that we have some PhD students, academics, scholars, like it's the case of Camila, and we have some undergraduate students. So one of the positive things about the Knowledge Bazaar, this combination of different levels, like the layers you could see in Camila's work, different layers of knowledge, different levels of interpretation of research according to the moment where the students find themselves. Okay, so we've seen the project from Gothenburg, and we are going to introduce the University of Ljubljana. Ljubljana has a project called Innovation Through Artistic Representation, and we have Dominic and Dominica here. You were actually very engaged in the project. Dominic himself is an artist, he's a musician, and they're going to tell how the process has gone and show some pieces. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Manel, for the introduction. I hope you can hear us well. Yes, okay, great. You kind of stole my introduction now because you already pronounced the names, but I will start in the same fashion again. I'm Dominic. I come from the Knowledge Transfer Office from the University of Ljubljana. We were overseeing this project with the EUTOPIA office. This is Dominika, the representative of the student teams.
So, hello from Ljubljana, the capital city of Slovenia. We are calling in from the central atrium of the town hall, which lies right in the center of our beautiful city. At the University of Ljubljana, we are delighted to be part of this wonderful project led here by the Knowledge Transfers and EUTOPIA offices. Knowledge Bazaar is a great Utopia incentive showing the path to the future with an innovative approach in merging science and art, crossing boundaries and fueling curiosity with the main spark behind every innovation, creativity, and of course, good collaboration.
Thank you, Dominika. So following the spirit of the Knowledge Bazaar idea, at the University of Ljubljana, our approach was to invite students from various fields and give the young creative minds the opportunity to truly create their unique artistic vision based on the input from researchers and scientist teams of the chosen technologies. The students were mentored by two experts in the fields of information, media technology, and graphic arts. Jure Achtik, Chair of Information and Graphic Arts Technology at the Faculty of Natural Sciences and Engineering, and his assistant, Andrej Učakar. We will show you two unique artistic representations created completely by our students. The videos are also a part of the exhibition that will be open to the public. Before we play the videos, I would like to congratulate everyone participating at the Knowledge Bazaar for the great projects and also the organizers for a truly inspirational event. We would also like to thank everyone at the City Hall and the City of Ljubljana for kindly letting us use this a bit of this wonderful space to host our Knowledge Bazaar exhibition. Thank you.
I don't know, can you hear me? Dominika, yeah? We are struggling to listen the sound. Is there any sound in the video?
Yes, there's sound. We were just asking on this matter.
Ooh.
I am learning.
you. Considering that we had this technical glitch, is it possible to replay the videos with sound? It'd be really nice, thank you.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here. This is Houston. Say again, please. Houston, we've had a problem. We've had a main beam plus undervolt. Roger, main beam undervolt. Okay, stand by, 13. We're looking at it.
I want to learn. I am learning.
Thank you again for the replay. This would be all from team Dominica, and other students and fellows from University of Ljubljana participating in the Knowledge Bazaar project. Enjoy the rest of the presentation, and goodbye.
Thank you very much. We actually loved it without any sound, to be honest. Then with sound, it was fantastic. We had a very good experience. And when we were talking about the Knowledge Bazaar at the beginning, we talk about how to represent science through art. And we said, well, we can have some projects a bit more explanatory, more literal in terms of the deploying the whole scientific projects, but at the same time, we also left the possibility of doing something more experimental and especially more evocative. And I think this kind of pieces are following this this possibility, which is in some way a bit more provocative and raises some interest in the people who are watching the pieces and suddenly feel interested in knowing more about the concepts they have seen or the ideas behind the images. So thank you very much for this inspiration, this kind of provocative videos that lead us to know a bit more about the scientific projects behind. Now it's time for Barcelona. We have here our students, also some of the researchers and the teachers that accompanied all this process. You can come, yeah, don't be shy. This way I feel a bit less alone here in front of the camera. Thank you very much for coming. We are presenting here, we are introducing two projects that explain different researches. In one case, in the first case, we have three different research projects that are explained in only one video through let's say a plot, a unique plot that tells the story of these three researchers. Then we have a second project just picking one of these researchers we have seen before. I must say before starting that as I mentioned before, we are here in a room with virtual glasses. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if my colleagues from the audiovisual team can give us a shot of the public. Maybe you can do that, but we have people here in situ with virtual glasses. So this project, as the rest of the projects we have seen, have sense, obviously, if you are face-to-face, if you are having the experience of being in front of them. But in this case, with the virtual glasses, probably this idea adds an extra value. So the people here in the idea is gonna put on the glasses and we're gonna share a video with you. It's not the same, obviously, because you don't have the virtual experience, but we promise that if the experience is successful, we can share the videos to you so that if you have virtual glasses in all your other universities, you can watch them in your campuses. So I'm going to give the floor to the first group with Alex, Eduardo, and Laia, and afterwards to Alberto, Laia, and Arianna to explain the projects, and afterwards we're going to see both videos. Thank you very much.
Okay, so we are Laia, Eduardo, and Alida, who wasn't able to come with us today, and me, Alex, and we are going to explain our project, which is called Lua, to the future that we leave behind. So we were given a challenge at the very beginning, and basically the challenge consisted in uniting three different investigations from UPF, which is our university. And these investigations were about genetics, synthetic biology. The other one was about the interactions between humans and mosquitoes. And the last one was about sound and music. And the whole point of this, the main goal, was to create a common narrative and united narrative in order to give a message of environmental awareness.
We will travel through three possible dystopian futures that, no matter how inevitable they seem, we still have time to leave them behind. We wanted to share that there is still opportunities and explore possibilities through reconciliation in a dialogue between past, present, and future. Please enjoy it, and you will find the subtitles attached.
Hello, we are Ariadna, Laia, and myself, Alberto, and our project is called Aletheia, which is a Greek word for truth. And we based our project in the research of the Mark Weiss team on his translational synthetic biology, which research about the skin and human genome. We would also like to thank Dani Marzo, whose help has been priceless, and without him, we wouldn't be here with this amazing project. So thank you, Dani, and your team for making this possible. Our project is also a virtual reality journey that seeks to reflect the identity as a path of self-knowledge, constant self-knowledge. So we based our video on the Homer's Odyssey, and with the voice of a muse, we will travel through different islands and we will explore the seas to discover our own truth. Thank you very much and enjoy the ride.
Resto de seres vivos. Las ciudades se están convirtiendo en una única ciudad infinita, en la que las diferencias que un día caracterizaron a cada una de ellas están desapareciendo, donde no debería haber nada, donde todo rastro de vida se ha convertido en fósiles enterrados bajo capas de lodo y hormigón. Hay algo. En nuestros hogares futuros, en las ciudades sin horizonte, sin fronteras, hay una guerra que en silencio batallaremos, casi sin darnos cuenta hasta que sintamos un zumbido. Pero en ese momento, quizás ya sea demasiado tarde. el Museo de los Sonidos Perdidos, el último legado de aquellos seres y ambientes que ya nos han dejado, donde solo existe su recuerdo. Sombras de lo que fueron, restos huecos y distorsionados, amontonados, inconexos. Un entorno sonoro del futuro, artificial, vestigios en un mundo de acero y titanio. El futuro al que nos dirigimos es solo el futuro del pasado. Un futuro que podemos dejar atrás si tenemos la voluntad de desprendernos del pasado y afrontar el daño que hemos causado. Tenemos la oportunidad de empezar de nuevo, de crear una nueva historia, tan ancestral como moderna, tan sagrada como científica. La clave podría estar en una vida en simbiosis y no en la constante colisión en la que nos encontramos cada día. Llamémosle tierra, suelo, humus. Llamémonos humus, no homo, no ántropos. Somos compost, somos líquenes, somos una unidad viva única, resultado de la conexión y convivencia de un conjunto de seres humanos y no humanos, especies compañeras que se relacionan y coevolucionan. Un sistema vivo complejo, alejado de las individualidades, una simbiosis infinita. Infinitas las posibilidades más modestas de recuperación parcial y mutuo entendimiento entre especies y entornos, genes, sonidos y fuerzas de la naturaleza. Infinitas las posibilidades de crear nuevas conexiones y relaciones, redes de vida inacabadas en un proceso eterno de coexistencia y coevolución. Es el momento de imaginar destinos alternativos, fronteras a día de hoy inimaginables, pero el día de mañana exploradas.
Sing to me of day, muse, the one of twists and turns. Many cities of men he saw and learned their minds. Many pains he suffered, heartsick on the open sea, trying to save his life and that of his companions, and to return happily to his homeland.
Welcome, O traveler, to your inevitable destiny. For you yourself have followed the path that has brought you here. Now that you find yourself in this sea, you can only follow. Observe what surrounds you, what shapes you. Listen, breathe, and ask yourself that question that every being wrecks with his existence. Who am I? Look in the distance. What do you see? Do you hear noise? How far away we see it, and how close it is heard. And the more you see, and the more you hear, the less you feel. Do you hear that remoteness? That community has built a ghost town, an uninhabitable utopia. Is this your home? What other spaces can you inhabit within you? Tell me, traveler, isn't this a wonderful place? Doesn't this land have everything one could wish for? Leave your boat and enjoy the pleasures of life. A pleasant climate, good food, and the rest you deserve. Do you really think this is your destination? Remember where you come from, where you are going. Are you only when someone else shows himself to you? In this sea of uncertainties, look for yourself in solitude. Whoever breaks the law of hospitality may enrage the gods, for it exists to remind mortals of their condition. Skin, limit of the productive beginning. Skin seeks and finds, that is its function. But if you could encompass everything, if you could expand it, would you still identify your limits? Would you be all that your skin encompasses? Do you know every part that makes you up? And if it were to change, if any of the 1,000 parts of your being decided to leave its state, would you still be what you were? For if one day upon awakening, your extremities were different, and your hard, lumpy belly became more like that from which you flee, I ask you, O traveler, would you then still be yourself? I don't know what's in store for you, traveler, from now on. You have sailed many places and visited islands that others would never have imagined. But now you must be on your way. It's time to know yourself. Your bravery has led you this far, and I'm sure that courage will not desert you wherever the seas take you. Go on your way, and when you reach the end, hope that the journey has been a long one.
How I came to be what I am. A whipping sustained by 700,000 sighs. And at the end, back to the beginning.
Okay, so some of you had the chance to see through this virtual reality glasses, some others. Me? Hello? Apparently it is on. Yeah? Okay, so I was saying that some of you had the chance to experience this creation through this virtual reality glasses, some others don't. We'll try to bring a couple of glasses at least to the Utopia week so that the people who attend to the meeting next week in Brussels will have this opportunity. But I hope you enjoyed, no matter the format in which you saw the two videos. Actually, you have the translation of the first one. I forgot to say that. You have the translation of the first video in the chat in case you want to know a bit more about the text the students wrote for this first piece. Okay, so we are approaching to the end of the event. We have one university more and something which is not a really surprise because it has been announced before, but I think it's gonna be a surprise at the same time because it's something really special, but I'm not gonna do a spoiler about that. I'm gonna introduce the last university, which is the University of Warwick. The University of Warwick actually produced this video during the year of the culture in Coventry, and they are presenting three different projects. The first one is called the Inward Pilot. The second one is just response and recovery to COVID, and the third one is Coventry Create. Actually, the titles are a bit longer, but as they are going to explain us the rest of the universities, I'm going to give the floor to you, and you can complement the informations I gave. So I have Jackie, but I can see Jackie at this moment on the screen. I can see Keith, I can see Luis, I can see Mike. I don't know who wants to start, but the floor is yours. Thank you.
Thanks very much. I think I'll start. Can you hear me okay? Yeah, fantastic. So thanks very much for that very warm welcome, and we're really pleased to be part of this Knowledge Bazaar event. My name's Jackie Hodgson from the University of Warwick, and I'm the Deputy Pro-Vice Chancellor there. And we've got three projects, as you say, today. So the project that I'll be just speaking about at the end, very briefly, is called Coventry Creates, and that's around artistic responses to researchers that began in when Coventry was UK City of Culture, and we ran it then for a second year. But first of all, you're going to hear about two other projects. One of them is around the ethics and justice issues that arose from the impact and the policies around COVID-19 in sub-Saharan Africa. And the other one is around support for mental health and well-being of employees in the workplace. So I'm assuming I'm not sure who I'm passing over to, who's going to introduce the first one. Mike or Lewis, are you there?
Hi, Jackie. I think maybe, shall we start with Coventry Creates and then move on to the next one?
Okay, that's great. Sorry, it was announced in a different order. Okay, can everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so if we start off with Coventry Creates. So this is in total over 2 years between 2020, 2021, and then 2021, 2022, 30 different pieces of research, and we commissioned 30 creative responses to those pieces of research. And they're across a whole variety of things. So yes, some science, so artificial intelligence, understanding psychosis, some issues around flora and fauna in the River Sherborne and so on, but also very different issues around understanding solitude, homelessness, and a variety of other issues. And we have a very short film where you'll hear from some of the researchers and the artists, which I'm very much hoping someone is going to be able to play now. I understand our hosts are going to play that.
I think for me, the experience was sort of aided from the researcher being so great and sort of like dissecting the research for me as well in ways I can understand, so which was pretty profound and cool.
What I learned was really how quickly you can form a bond with someone. I feel like that collaboration between researcher and artist is really different.
It was a great experience to hone in on what I usually do, but in a
kind of new, refreshing way.
So as an artist, I would manage to go to a deeper place in poetry, somewhere I'd never been before.
To work with an artist who's so authentic and talented, it just gave a new voice to our research, and it was a pleasure.
So that was a very short film because we've got 3 projects and I know that we don't have much time, but I'll perhaps pop a link in the chat. You can have a look on the website and then you can see a lot more about those projects, and you'll see the spoken word, poetry, film, dance, a whole array of things. But I'm going to pass over to India Home, who's worked with me on these projects, who's going to introduce one of them in particular. Thanks, India.
Hi everybody, thank you for having us with you today at the Knowledge Bazaar. As Jackie mentioned, we started Coventry Creates in 2020 during the first UK lockdown. One of the projects that was responded to by a local mixed media artist was our mental health and productivity pilot, which is a programme of research all about mental health and productivity in the workplace and ways to support that. The artist created a wonderful spoken word performance piece where she explored lots of the research and her own personal experiences to do with balancing mental health and work and with the busy lives that we lead today. One of the projects that is a part of this large programme of work is the In-Work pilots, and that's the project we're going to hear from next. It's evidence-based support to support mental health and well-being of employees in the workplace. Sadly, the project team couldn't be with us in person today, but they did specially prepare just for the Bazaar, just for today, a very short video, which will now be played by the event organisers.
I'm a research assistant working as part of the Mental Health and Productivity Pilot team. Today, I'll be providing you with a summary of our in-work pilot trials. Just to provide a bit of background, at the start of 2020, we were already facing a mental health crisis. Evidence suggests 1 in 6 workers experienced a mental health problem, with 300,000 people leaving work every year. The high comorbidity between mental health conditions heightened this problem, with studies reporting as high as 70% of individuals diagnosed with a mental health problem also experienced at least one other of these problems. There are also direct implications for employers in terms of absenteeism, presenteeism, and reduced work productivity, with estimated costs of poor mental health to UK employers up to £47 billion in 2020. We all know what happened next. The COVID-19 pandemic exacerbated the pre-existing mental health crisis, bringing new challenges to both employees and employers. A recent report from Mind found that 2/3 of adults with mental health problems reported a deterioration in their mental health since the first lockdown, in addition to 25% of individuals reporting mental distress for the first time during the pandemic. As such, the cost of poor mental health to the employer rose by 25% since the start of the pandemic, now up to an estimated £56 billion in 2021. However, recent studies have shown that 78% of employers want to prioritise the mental health and well-being of their employees. The Mental Health and Productivity Pilot Programme, or MHPP, brings together a range of expert partners to provide an evidence-informed, cost-effective and sustainable resource that will support good mental health at work, reduce stigma and ultimately increase productivity. Experts from our partnered universities and organisations collaborated together to develop the In-Work trials, designed to test new ways of supporting people at work who are experiencing or at risk of developing a mental health problem across the Midlands region. REST is an 8-week, fully self-guided online programme to reduce symptoms of stress, anxiety and depression. Sleep is a hybrid digital intervention that aims to improve sleep as well as emotion regulation difficulties. Mentor provides tailored support to employees with an existing mental health condition and their managers to facilitate open discussions about mental health and overcome any barriers employees are facing in the workplace. BITE is a therapist-led CBT-based intervention for individuals suffering with eating and body image problems. Here are a couple of snippets of the online platform for sleep and rest, which are largely based on principles of cognitive behavioural therapy. Our qualitative analysis has highlighted the real impact our trials have had on the participants, including the practical tools gained to manage stressful situations and the spillover effect it has had on improving other areas of individuals' lives. Our quantitative analysis is also currently underway, with initial promising results already apparent. If there are any further questions about anything discussed in this presentation, please don't hesitate to get in touch via email or visit our website and social media platforms to see what we've been getting up to. Thank you.
Everyone, Keith Hyams. Keith, do you want to give your presentation?
Thank you very much for having me. So I'd like to introduce our project funded by the Arts and Humanities Research Council called Just Response and Recovery to COVID-19. What we wanted to do with this project, we initiated it when the pandemic kicked off, and it struck us straight away that some people were going to be particularly hard hit in the global south. So we wanted to find a way to get at what was happening in the informal settlements. Of course, we had the problem that we couldn't do field work, so we needed to very quickly come up with some new ways to find out and new ways to gather field work. So we partnered with an NGO called Slum Dwellers International, who worked with youth affiliates in cities across Africa, in fact, across the world. And we set up partnerships with 6 youth groups in 6 cities across Africa and helped them to develop the skills and the technology to collect video diaries of what was going on to them and their families and their communities. And by analysing that data, we started to understand the justice issues and used a philosophical lens to see how we could understand what the ethics and the justice lessons were and turn that into recommendations for policymakers. We have a short video to show put together by Slum Dwellers International that gives some highlights of the method and the findings. So I'll hand over now to let the video explain our work.
So cities and urban areas currently house over half of humanity, and by 2070 will house nearly 70% of the world's population. Some cities and urban areas are really highly exposed to climate impacts. They may be along coastlines, for example, that are vulnerable to sea level rise, but they also house large numbers of vulnerable populations. So an estimated 1 in 7 of the world's population lives in what are called informal settlements, where people lack access to formal housings and other services and infrastructure that will help protect them from climate change.
At SDI, information is power, and the information that we gather, that information is used as evidence. And that's why research becomes very important. We put resources on the ground to gather that information.
We're looking at it through the lens of justice. So we want to understand how there's inequalities between different groups, both in terms of age, gender, inside the informal settlements, outside the informal settlements, and unfairnesses and ethical issues arising. And the methodology that we're using for this project involves empowering the youth themselves to take videos of what's going on in their lives and the communities around them, their families, their friends, and their wider communities.
We need to have your input, please. So I would ask you, please, to contribute. What we are looking for are video diaries.
We mobilized young people in informal settlements existing in 7 countries. We wanted to find out what does resilience look like for them, especially at the face of this global pandemic.
So we did.
So thank you for watching the video. I've put a link to the project website, or a link to the project website rather, in the policy brief in the chat. And I'll hand over now to the third Warwick project.
Thank you very much, Keith. You were the third Warwick project, actually, but and that's everything from Warwick. But thank you very much for presenting. And we'll hand back now to UPF, I think. Thank you.
Sorry, Luis. Luis, can you hear me?
Yes, Manuel, hi, we can hear you.
Last presentation you mentioned? Sorry, I couldn't hear you properly.
That was our last presentation, yes. Those were all three of the Warwick presentations.
Who's going to do it? Who's next?
No, we've done them. That was all three of the presentations. We had Coventry Creates, the in-work pilots, and then the Just Response to COVID one.
We've finished. We haven't got any more.
About that, Luis, and you deserved an applause as well, clapping as the rest of the universities. But we had some problems with the last connection, so I couldn't hear properly. If you had last words, your last words addressing to the audience or don't. Well, so as you can see, we at the end of the presentation, so we have seen some projects here related to one of the issues that really occupying us in the last years, especially here at the UPF, which is an overarching theme that is shared with the rest of the universities of EUTOPIA, which is the planetary well-being. And we have addressed in some of our projects some solutions for some specific issues that can be problematic in terms of obviously ecology and sustainability, but also other issues as we have seen in this last projects related to equity, democracy, etc. At the same time, I would like to underline how some projects can be embedded as these last ones in some movements, in this case in the City of Culture of Coventry last year, as I mentioned before, but some other universities took advantage also of some movements in their own cities to create synergies among the university and museums, town halls, etc. I said at the beginning that this was a very, very difficult project. Moving that, even if sometimes seeing just short excerpts, short bits of the productions, we can think, okay, this is easy to do, this is quite short, so it's quite manageable. This was a very, very difficult project because its aim, as I said before, was trying to shake a bit the traditional paradigm of science, research, teaching and learning, and especially this relation between institutions, obviously between the 6 founders of EUTOPIA, but also other institutions, as I said before, the cities themselves, the town halls, the museums, the art centers, etc. And this is the reason why we wanted to present the results from different artistic centers or artistic places to explain this these links between all these stakeholders. So I would like to finish thanking everybody, as I said before, because you did a wonderful effort, and finding ourselves in this situation is really an enormous success, a high success. So thank you very much for that. And as I promised before, we had this surprised but not surprised. I said it was announced, so it's not literally something we don't expect, but the contents are really promising. So I would like to invite him, Marcelí Antúnez. For those who don't know, Marcelí Antúnez is a very known artist, obviously here in Spain, but also internationally. He's a member of La Fora dels Baus. He works in this, again, intersection between art and science, technology and cultural creation, and obviously in this idea of interaction between the machines and the body. It's a pleasure to have Marcelí among us. He's gonna give us a short performance of what he's working on. Thank you very much, Marcelí, whenever you want.
Wow! We are now in 1985. In that time, during 80s, I worked with different collectives. One of them was La Fora dels Baus. Now we show the work, probably the most interesting work did for this collective in 80s. Sud or Sud. This performance was during 12 years working around the world, like, for example, New York, Montreal, or Cochuspino. But now we are in 90s, 1992. This is Joan the Meat Man.
Aquest és el Joan l'home de carn.
That
Joan l'home de carn l'activa un micròfon.
That work was made with Sergi Jordà. He teaches in this university. We work together. I have a dream, making a kind of Frankenstein, and he suggests me to make this Frankenstein interactive. When you speak with Joan, Joan become alive. He moves the head, the shoulder, the arm, and a little bit the penis. But now we are in 1994. Yes. I changed the idea. I want to be a Joan l'home de carn, the Joan the Meat Man. How to do that? I asked to Roland Olbetter to build a dress in order to be controlled by the audience. One by one, the people. Right? Yes. One by one, the people touch my body, thanks these exoskeletons. Touch my bottom, my breast, and also my face. And also all the body become controlled by a video game. And also then with this kind of exoskeleton. The idea of exoskeleton is really interesting. This kind of dresses take your body, and in this case, the body becomes something vulnerable, something controlled by the exoskeleton. This kind of exoskeletons I call muskeleton, muscle and exoskeleton, muskeleton. And now we go 1998. We are in a theater. I have the first skeleton, the first exoskeleton who expand the body thanks or through the technology. You can see here, thanks to the skeleton, I touch this guitar and I play this drum. I play also the bagpipe, 1, 2, 3. The violin. I change the part. I play also the image. We are then 90 of the 90s. We are in 20th century. I have a short demo of this performance. We are now in 19. Something happened. I don't know what is this. One moment, sorry. You can see another exoskeleton, Requiem, the machine who moves the Marcelli when we'll be dead. Maybe in 20th century, Marcelli will be like Juan Lamadacarn moving for you or for your children or for the children of your children making performances. Now we are in 21st century. 2006. I start in that moment with the idea of membrane, skins around the body, epidermis, dresses, houses, society, nature. These skins inspire me to do a different membrane, and that one was protomembrana. In that, no more robots. Yes, but a lot of new interfaces, like that one. Gunka takes the face of the audience and puts the face into the narration. Oh, like that one. You can see membrana, the top exoskeleton dressed by a volunteer who comes with me, making the performance. This is what he does. Up, down, left, right. Wow! Hola, hola, hola. No. Connected by the computer. Really sorry. Okay. Wow! Come again. In 2007, you take me, Justy? You take me, the boys now? No, give me. Yeah. During 2007 and during 2006 and during the Membranas project, I become really interested to draw, and I start to drawing a lot. You can see here the dynamic mural called Europe 2007. That was an installation, but now I show you like a monocanal video, and I start to draw. Draw become my animations, drawings become also the dresses, drawings become spaces, and drawings become like here, this kind of stop motion. During 1 week I spend come in and come out in order to do this drawing, and after that, after this week, 7 days, I decide to expand the idea and put one more day. You can see here what I do. I draw not only with the brushes, I draw with my body. Now we are also in 2007. This is hypermembrana. I work with more people. These images come, or the images of this journey, this performance, are based or are inspired by Inferno, Dante's Inferno. We expand the idea of exoskeleton around the face with sensors and so on. You can see here some images of
Hem
this
entrat.
show. Now we are in 2009, the last membrana, the last membrane, hypermembrana. You can see from Joan l'Home de Carn, Joan the Midman, until hypermembrana, I try to invite the people, I try to invite myself and other performers using the interactivity. But in that moment, I realized probably is the best idea to invite people working with you, not only by interaction, working creation themselves. You can see here 5 cities of Catalonia, Reus, Olot, Granollers, Lleida, and Barcelona, with different associations, schools, and so on, come with me and they make his ideas, their ideas, with my ideas, and we make Metamembrana, this installation. You can see, for example, the people from Lleida. They are people, rural people, and fruits people, and orange people, and Butifarra people dancing in the middle of the dark. And here you can see, for example, well, sorry, I come again, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can see here the people from Olot, the Pyrenees city in La Garrocha. Maybe some people know where is Olot. You can see 2 sausages making dog soup, and born of this pot, volcanic Venus. She is trapped by Porcobok, the monster of Pyrenees. What is the trap? Ratafia. Ratafia is a kind of Catalan whiskey. People, especially from Girona, like a lot. And you can see volcanic Venus completely drunk by Ratafia. Why? because Porkobok wants her. Porkobok wants something more. And now they do nyiki. But in a Bollywood style, because it's for all audiences. And you can see 9 months later how volcanic Venus become, well, there's a lot of histories inside Metamembrana, it's short time. The next performance I will explain all. Now we are 2015. I stop here my house presentation. That was a kind of, like today, distributed, connected to cities, people from Falmouth, the University of Falmouth, and people from Barcelona making together this performance. You can see here, I draw in real time in Barcelona, and 3 dancers the sensor and send the images on the screen. All together work in order to make a big performance. Thank you, Justine. Thank you. This is a Selene. Come here. Yes. You can see a selenite. The foot, this part of the body, I don't know in English. You can see the vulva, the selenites has the vagina here. They have also penis because they are not male, not female, all together. You can see 3 fingers, hands. They have thumbs. They have eyes also. They have orellas and also antennas. We go to see what happened with that. This part is the place of the embryo. And that part is, let's go, what happened? Yeah, sorry. This is the, when the selenite, the new selenite born, the channel. This, and go, another curiosity. You can see the selenite sweat milk. The milk become quickly mato. This is a fresh cheese, and there is a worm who eat this mato. And the mouth is not the mouth, it's the anus. Be careful. He shit for the mouth. Sometimes happen. And you can see how the eyes are removable. Eyes, and he never eat. He only smell. In that case, Kentucky chicken, only smelling, you can see. But now we go inside the selenite. The entrails, the anatomy, the body anatomy. You can see 1, 2. You can see this orgiastic entrails of this selenite. No, 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 drawing always work with Marceline. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Marceline. You never disappoint, so it's fantastic having with us. I hope you enjoyed the full event. Actually, as Marceline would say, now we are in 2022. We don't know what is going to happen in 2023. We don't know if we are going to have a Knowledge Bazaar as well, but we really enjoyed doing it. So we hope we have other occasions to work together and make science and arts dialogue together. Thank you very much, and see you maybe in 2023. Thank you.